We are headed to the divisional round. After a completely dominating performance over the Miami Dolphins on Wildcard Weekend, the Kansas City Chiefs are still alive. What we are doing here today is I'm going to give you my initial takeaways from that game and what the Kansas City Chiefs can build on moving into the divisional round. Now with that, let's get the chit chat and let's have some fun. Chiefs Kingdom, we're still alive and kicking. We just don't know who our opponent is. We will find that out tonight. With that, I will be going live tonight, covering the Steelers and Bills. Huge implications are at hand for both teams. Of course, it's playoffs. It's win or go home. But also, this factors into the Kansas City Chiefs as well, because if the Pittsburgh Steelers win with a huge upset, the Houston Texans are coming into Arrowhead. Yes, the Chiefs would get another home game. But if the Buffalo Bills win, Patrick Mahomes will have to travel on the road in the playoffs for the first time in his career. I welcome both opportunities, but that's why we're dialed in. We're going to go hand by hand, play by play, covering it all, and just seeing the madness unfold. Now, I got another announcement. I don't even know if I want to call it an announcement more than... let's give it a sneak peek a little bit. So I kind of teased around on the channel that I will be releasing merch and it's going to be coming fast and furious. Well, I don't know how fast and furious they may be, but if I can get this part right here, let's struggle. Boom. We got our first little look at what we are about to release on the channel. And that's all I got for y'all so far. So just stay tuned. Things are coming around the corner. I am really, really excited for this. This is the first shirt that came in, so we're going to see how it goes, and I'm going to see how to ship things out and go from there. This is a whole learning process for me, so it'll take time, but we will get there, and I'm excited to get everyone one of these shirts that is definitely interested in it. But we got a wild card weekend game to discuss because the Kansas City Chiefs went crazy. They looked good on offense, on defense, and on special teams. They played a complete game, something we weren't accustomed to watching throughout the regular season. But as I mentioned, and as a lot of us have come accustomed to as well, is when you play the Kansas City Chiefs and when you play Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, it's a different type of monster. And that has proven once again. And my biggest takeaway from this is, yes, there are things to correct, of course. But if they play like this, I'm taking this team against anyone. That's why I'm comfortable going into Buffalo, because if they play like this, they're coming out with a W. I'm comfortable against playing the Ravens, who is probably the toughest opponent. And I still think the Kansas City Chiefs can walk out of Baltimore with a W. Now, am I a fan speaking from a Chiefs Kingdom perspective? Yes. But also, I think it's very realistic. And honestly, the one thing the Kansas City Chiefs really, really need to tweak is that red zone efficiency. If most of those field goals become touchdowns, there's no argument to this whatsoever. Like if they're putting up 7 and their defense is playing this great, which we'll get more into, every team is gonna struggle with us, and then they're gonna wonder, damn, this was supposed to be another down year for the Chiefs, and then here they are advancing through the playoffs. What's going on? That's what a well-disciplined, a well-nurtured, mature team can do. So stay tuned for that, because I think the Chiefs are onto something, and it clicked at the right moment. But let's zone in on this offense a little bit, because it wasn't perfect, but it looked really, really good. Every single drive, it seemed like they were moving the ball up and down the field, and they were able to at least get 3 out of it, which is huge, because Patrick Mahomes even said it in one of his press conferences leading up to this wild card game was, we just need to put up enough points because the defense won't allow many. And that's just what this Kansas City Chiefs team is about. We're not going to be putting up 35, 42, 48 points. As hopeful as all of us want that to happen, it's just not the case. Now, they did have a real shot at doing this in this game of putting up over 40 points, but they couldn't get touchdowns. Now, if 2 of those field goals, just 2 of them, are touchdown conversions, that's 14 points instead of 6 points, and that's huge. And that's all the Kansas City Chiefs need to do to make it look like a way worse blowout than what it already was. And it's also funny, James Palmer didn't even think this was a blowout, which I don't know what we're dignifying a blowout nowadays. It was a 19-point victory and negative 27-degree wind chill, and Kansas City dominated the game from the first quarter to the very last second. But hey, I don't know what a blowout is anymore. But getting back to that is the offense in whole. They kept it simplistic, which we wish they did the whole season. Patrick Mahomes relied on his new favorite weapon in Rashee Rice, who was making plays, who was balling, and he looked phenomenal in his first playoff game. 8 catches, 130 yards, and a touchdown. And then Travis Kelce, he was inconsistent, but it looked like the best version of Travis Kelce we've seen since November. And if he hauls in a couple of those drops, it's a very, very good stat line. I think he had over 60 yards on 6 catches. So very good. Definitely moving forward, he can't have those drops. Again, the main thing to zone in on this as well for the offense is who's going to be that next man to step up. And you could really, really tell Mahomes wanted it to be Mecole Hardman. Now, there was a lot of miscommunication. There was a lot of Mecole Hardman not knowing how to track a football. And there was a lot of the refs getting involved in it as well, where they couldn't hit on a home run throw. But you could tell Mahomes really wants that home run ball. And he's going to look for it if it's the Texans or Bills. He wants to be explosive. So best believe he's going to try to find it. And I still think Mecole Hardman is going to be that guy. And then you saw very limited snap counts from guys like Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Richie James. Even though Richie James and MVS did have a catch in this game, Richie James had a crucial catch, which I believe was on 4th down to pick it up. These pieces are coming together. Matt Nagy and Coach Reed are learning how to get them to gel and make sure that they can produce on the field, whether it be 1 catch or whether it be a Rashee Rice stat line of 8 catches for over 130 yards. We don't need every guy out there. We just need guys who can move the chains. And then when you focus on a moving the chains type of guy, you zone in on Isaiah Pacheco, who I said, if you give the dude 20 rushes, the Chiefs won't lose the game. And that's just exactly the case. Isaiah Pacheco touched the ball over 22 times. I believe had almost 83 yards. Most of that came in the first half. The Miami Dolphins' second half defense adjusted very, very well to Pacheco. But the Chiefs still were able to move the ball. You got to keep pounding the rock with Pacheco because you won't get another weather game like this probably where it's negative 27. But if you go into Buffalo, if you stay in Arrowhead, it's going to be cold. And Isaiah Pacheco, that grown man, is ready to run down someone's throat. So give him the chance. And honestly, I just really, really love the growth of Isaiah Pacheco. He's such a patient runner. And he looks for the hole and he finds it. And then if he can't get it, he welcomes the yardage that's in front of him. He doesn't do all this cute stuff behind the line of scrimmage. There was a couple runs in that instance, but that was more of game calling as well and the play that was designed. I hate it when the Chiefs dial up outside runs in crucial situations. Just let Isaiah Pacheco go north and south. Get him at his fastest steamroll, and he gonna get a good yard amount, and that's what he's known about. So I'm excited to see that moving forward as well. And then give huge kudos to the offensive line because Mahomes, he stood tall throughout the majority of the game. The tackles did their own. Now, yes, we can label Jawan Taylor because he had 2 very huge penalties. One wiped out Rashee Rice's second touchdown, but it didn't cost us the game. Again, that's something you got to tighten up. And it's something I don't know if it can get tightened up because it's something we've dealt with throughout the whole season. But, hey, it wasn't crucial. Let's hope it's not crucial moving forward. Now, let's flip the script a little bit and go to the defense because, man, defense, you are outstanding. You are phenomenal. You are the reason why the Kansas City Chiefs are where they are at this season. And if you looked at the first performance against the Miami Dolphins, you wouldn't think the Kansas City Chiefs could match or display that in back-to-back performances. They played better this time, which is nuts. And a lot of media will say, oh, it's because of the weather. Shut up. Give this team the credit. Stop discrediting them. And L'Jarius Sneed, he's an all-pro cornerback. Trent McDuffie, even though Tyreek Hill got one up on him, man, he is a Pro Bowler and he is an all-pro cornerback as well. I want to see that duo just together for the long haul. I need the Kansas City Chiefs to extend Sneed because he is legit. He is a threat. And then this defensive line as well. A lot of people didn't focus on it, but George Karlaftis, he has come into his own this season, and boy, was he ready for the playoffs. He was wreaking havoc on Tua. They say that relentless motor, it didn't wear down whatsoever. He made sure to get the pressures, and I love Spagnuolo for that. That was the one thing I wanted Spagnuolo to do was you gotta get Tua uncomfortable. If you give him time in the pocket, any quarterback's going to look good. We've seen that throughout this season with guys like Bailey Zappi, with Aiden O'Connell having impressive yard games against us. But when you get them under duress, we will force turnovers and we will get the quarterback to the ground. And when we got pressure on Tua, he threw interceptions. He took sacks. And that was the kind of game Spagnuolo had drawn up. It was beautiful. It was amazing. And speaking of the interception, Mike Edwards, another guy who is under the radar, has been a wily vet and a huge crucial piece, specifically with Brian. I said Brian. Wait, no, that is right. What am I tripping on? With Brian Cook out for the season now, you need another safety to step up. And Mike Edwards has been that guy. He has been that duo for Justin Reed. And then also you see more of Deion Bush out there, which has been interesting. And Shamari Connors. Shamari Connors, the rookie, he had 27 snaps in the playoffs? The rookie's coming into his own as well. This is such a young team. And right now, they are becoming complete. And that's what makes it so exciting and so enticing. It makes me feel so confident. It was one game, but it was a huge game on a big stage. And that's when the Kansas City Chiefs shine their brightest. So bring them all. Bring the Bills. Bring the Texans. Let's go to Buffalo. I don't care. I trust in this team. Let's have fun and let's see where we progress moving forward. With that, Chiefs Kingdom, that is some of my takeaways from the SUper Wildcard Weekend as the Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Miami Dolphins by a final score of 26-7. Dive in the comments below. Let me know some of your key thoughts off this game and let me know how you feel moving forward in the playoffs. With that, I'm going to take off. Y'all take care. Peace.